Welcome back to Testing the Internet series. You're watching Part 7 Dropdowns. In the last lesson, you learned how to automate the process of handling disappearing elements on the web page. In this video, you'll learn how to automate dropdowns in web scenarios using Leapwork's Set Web Dropdown block. Dropdowns might look simple, but in automation, they can be a real headache. Have you ever faced issues where your test fails to select the right option, the dropdown loads too late, or the options shift based on user roles or dynamic data? These are common pain points, often caused by dynamically loaded content, mismatches between visible text and backend values, or changing indexes. That's where Leapwork steps in to make dropdown automation smooth and reliable. To demonstrate how, we'll take a simple scenario: a dropdown with two options, Option 1 and Option 2. We'll be using the Set Web Dropdown block to select an option and explore the different approaches it offers to set dropdown options effortlessly. Let's get started and create a dropdown automation flow so you can see how Leapwork removes the complexity from dropdown testing. Let's start by launching the recorder and opening the dropdown test case page. Once the page loads, we capture the dropdown that says, "Please select an option." Then we choose the Set Web Dropdown block. This block is made to help you automate dropdown selections easily without any coding. It lets you control dropdowns just like a real user would, but in a smarter, automated way. Now, here comes the interesting part. This is what we were talking about: the action approaches. You get to choose how you want to select an option. Value, which refers to the hidden value written in the website's code. Text, which is the visible label the user sees. And index, which is the item's position in the list, starting from 1. First, we select value in action. The filter setting lets Leapwork find the right option using one of 4 match types: equal, contains, starts with, or ends with. And for this demo, we'll set it to equal to make sure it picks the exact option without any partial matches, and value as 1. Click Apply, save, and close the recorder. If we expand the block, you'll see the selected action type and value set. This is where we'll make changes for each approach. Let's go ahead and run the flow for the first method. If we look at the activity log, Chrome launched, the test case page loaded, and the dropdown was successfully set to Option 1. Then, we go back and edit the flow and switch the action to text. Filter will be set to equals, and in value, let's enter Option 2. It's case sensitive. And run the flow again. This time, it sets to Option 2. You can also see the results in Recording panel. Finally, we edit the block again, change the action to index, set it to 2, and we will run the flow. Again, Option 2 is selected based on its position. And just like that, dropdown automation becomes easy, fast, and completely visual with Leapwork. Let's quickly recap the steps we followed to understand the different approaches for setting dropdown options using the Set Web Dropdown block. First, we launch the recorder and open the dropdown test case page. Then, we captured the dropdown element and added the Set Web Dropdown block. We started with the value approach, set it to 1, and ran the flow. Next, we changed the action to text, entered Option 2, and ran it again. Finally, we switched to index, set it to 2, and ran the flow one last time. That's how effortlessly you can control dropdowns in web tests. Quick, visual, and completely code-free with Leapwork. What you learned? You now know how to automate dropdowns using 3 smart methods: value, text, and index. Give this exercise a try yourself and see how much faster your automation can be. Moreover, to keep learning, or if you ever feel stuck, explore our documentation, knowledge base, and reach out to support if needed. The answers are just a click away. Thank you for staying with us, and see you in the next automation journey.